That's what I call good fucking filler. We all know about Naruto Shippuden. What is it worst known for? It's filler. A majority of the time in this series, we get tired of fucking filler. Now, every now and then, we get some filler that is necessary and that is good, and it makes the show flow. This is one of those times. In this Naruto Shippuden episode, man, I got a little teary-eyed with what happened at the end, and then the stuff that happened in the middle. There's the beginning, middle, end. The beginning canon, middle filler, ending canon. Let's first get to the beginning part. The beginning part, you got Naruto and Sasuke looking up in the sky and their arms are chopped off. And then you see Sakura and Sasuke coming up. Sakura and Kakashi coming up. And she sees them both and she decides to heal them both at the same time. And Sasuke tells her, "Oh, why are you healing me?" And she tells him, "Shut up. Let me heal you guys. Let me concentrate." And then Sasuke says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "For what?" "Sorry for everything." She starts tearing-eyed. And it's a good moment, you know, the music adds to it. I guess, like, if you're, like, a fan of the ship, you're like, "Oh, finally." But if you're like, this ship is, like, toxic, cancerous, you're trying to just, like, laughing at it. But I feel like it holds more weight here in the anime when Sasuke apologized, because I felt like the anime handled it better with Sasuke's transformation rather than the manga. Because in the manga, like, he says sorry, but 3 chapters ago, he had just, like, knocked her unconscious with the genjutsu. So I didn't feel like in the manga it held so much weight as it did with the anime, because you added some extra scenes in the anime with Sasuke having his, like, epiphany and all that shit, his transformation, and I felt like it had more weight. And plus, when you add music and voice acting, it always holds weight more to things because it feels more realistic, or feels like it's actually there for you as opposed to the manga. And that's one of the benefits of watching anime sometimes over manga. You know, you get nice scenes like that. So that was a good scene. You see them laughing together, and you see Sasuke, and he's like starting to act like the person that he was of old back in part 1. At least in the good parts. We had some scenes in part 1 where Sasuke would act all emo-ish, but then you'd have some nice scenes where he would be friendly with them. So you see that Sasuke in full. Like, it looked like the Sasuke back when he was a little kid. He's acting a little more smiley now. But in the manga, it felt kind of awkward for me. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. It felt, okay, whatever. I really don't care for that shipping, but it was nice, and I think it was handled pretty well for what it's worth. Then you get to the filler, and this is like some necessary. It felt like good filler. It shows everything that's happening in between the war. But hold on, I'm jumping the gun here. Before the filler, you have a heartwarming moment when they're at the funeral and they're looking at Ino's dad, Shikamaru's dad, their graveyards, and I'm like, that kind of hit me right here in the feels. And then you see Neji, and the animation for the part where Hinata is crying and Naruto's there with her was like really good and crisp. Because outside of the canon and outside of that part with the canon, the rest of the animation was like, it went back to being subpar. But that was such a great shot, and it felt so beautiful, and it looked so sad. I felt like I got a little teary-eyed because I really like Hinata, and I like Naruto. And she's like just crying right there, and I'm like, oh man, that was like a good angle, good animation. Now after that, then we get to the fucking filler. And we see some characters from filler, like a long time ago, characters that were never written in the manga. I don't remember her name, but it was back in the filler arc where it had to do with the 3 Tails, I believe. And she had this little kid who apparently she killed his mom. And you could see her character in the crowd of a bunch of people who want to go into the village and who want to meet Naruto. And I'm like, oh shit, there's that filler character, man. So you see everyone there. And then they show the process of Naruto with everyone else. And they show them creating Hashirama, his cells, and they're creating a new arm for Naruto. So they're showing the process for that. I thought that was pretty cool. You see Naruto talking to the other Kage who are thanking him for saving his life. And the part where that again got me was really funny was when Kakashi became Hokage, and he looked so funny just with the Hokage hat and him in his Shinobi, get up. And I guess Tsunade's retiring right there in that moment. I don't know, I guess she's tired of it. Maybe she's too old, because she looks a lot older than what she looks. And we get to a part where Kakashi's telling Naruto, I hereby assign you as Jonin. And I'm like, he got me, because I'm like, what? No, what the fuck? That's just so weird. I thought he was saying the Genin. But then he tells him, I bet that's what you wanted to hear. So we get a nice comedy get-up of them telling Naruto, if you want to be a Jonin, you got to study all this fucking school material. and Naruto freaks out. He's jumping on the window. He's like, no, I'd rather be a genin than being a jonin, having to study all that bullshit. And it got me laughing because it throws back to the part 1 of Naruto, how Naruto wasn't like good at schooling, or how he just wants to stay a genin now. And it really, it got so nostalgic for me with some of the filler that was adding in. And on top of that, they actually arrested Sasuke and actually put him in the cage to interrogate him. And they actually blindfolded him. And I'm really glad they added that. Because in the manga, it just jumps from the fight, they unlock the Tsukuyomi, and then it just shows Sasuke walking off. It doesn't look like he has any repercussions. So I'm thinking, okay, good. They actually interrogated him. They wanted to see what did he want to do. But I guess from the manga, you could kind of put 2 and 2 together that they did arrest him. But here they actually show it. And I really enjoyed that part. So we get the filler out of the way with that, which I really loved and enjoyed. Heartwarming moments of some characters. And you get Naruto thanking Iruka, telling him that you were the first one that accepted me. And I thought this one was so necessary to show us how important Iruka is. And I like how, at first they show the swing and they flash back, and I'm like, okay, that flashback again. But then you have actually Naruto thanking Iruka, actually saying it to him, instead of him just thinking it and them knowing it, but him actually showing his gratitude. And you see Iruka getting all teared up. And I thought that was such a heartwarming moment, and that was necessary for the fans to see and understand even further how important Iruka is. It goes back to the first episode of Naruto when Iruka had saved him. And that was just a heartwarming moment. So many feels in this episode. Then we get the ending part, and we go back to canon, and we're done with part with the filler, and it's the part where Sasuke leaves the village, and you have Kakashi telling him, listen, if it weren't for what you had done in the war, you'd probably be in jail right now, so don't fuck this up, don't make me look bad, okay? And then Sasuke's like, it's time for me to see the Shinobi world in my eyes, how they are now. Maybe there are things that I missed. And I think that's good for Sasuke's character, because when he was out in the Shinobi world, he had tunnel vision. It was just Itachi, revenge, revenge, revenge. And I think his vision it's time for his vision to open up and look around him. So I think that's what he wants to accomplish here. And here I couldn't take this part seriously, because then you have Sakura acting like, oh, can I come with you? And she's all blushing, and he basically tells her, nope, don't come. And then he does the Itachi finger right there. And she gets all flustered. I'm like, he touched me. He actually touched me. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, whatever. All right, whatever. He just poked her. And Hina understands the meaning, but I'm not so sure if Sakura understands the meaning, but she gets all flustered like crazy. And I think that's the end of the episode. I don't think I left out anything. Oh, one other thing. I was dancing like crazy when Naruto and Sasuke undid the Tsukuyomi, and they showed flashes of the rest of the world that are being freed from the Tsukuyomi, and the music is all going badass, man. That's one thing I love about the show, is that the soundtrack is so on point sometimes, and it gets you all jumpity and all excited, man. This episode I'm giving a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was really enjoyable. The filler really meshed well with the canon material, and I think we're getting more filler. And I'm actually happy for that, because this is kind of necessary filler. This is fun filler, you know? It's filler that we can enjoy because we don't feel like it's getting in the way of the canon material. We know we have one canon chapter left, and I can wait for that, because once that canon chapter happens, it's that's it. But we get some filler, and hopefully we can lead some things into with this episode, with this chapter that's going to finally be animated, so that things can make a little more sense, so it can flow better. And I'm really loving this right now. Necessary filler. Finally, we haven't had that in such a long time. Fantard out.